Thank you for waiting at this time. American Airlines passengers seated in premium economy and upper class is flying for gold on the left-hand side of gate A11. Once again, premium economy, upper class is flying for gold on the left-hand side of gate A11. We also fly.
Welcome back, guys, to episode 2 of A Pilot's Life here in Dallas-Fort Worth. We left off last time arriving here at Gate Charlie 31, and we are back today to do the return flight back to Phoenix. The Pilot's Life program is from Simbit World. It gives you a piloting career basically through real-world airlines, depending on your skill and what airline hires you. Currently, I'm flying for American Airlines based in Phoenix, and that is why we're heading back there in the Mad Dog, the MD-82. Now, I know American doesn't fly the MD-82s anymore, but you know what? This is Flight Simulator, and we can do whatever we want. So, I like this aircraft. Today, we're going to be American Flight 618 service to Phoenix. Departure time is right around 18:15 Zulu time, and it's about a 2-hour, 13-minute in flight. We're not going to show you the whole 2 hour and 13 minutes. Once we get into cruise, we switch over to some time compression for the video. I fly it in real time, but we switch over to some time compression for the video, along with some in-flight cruise music for a little bit to give you the sense of flying the distance. Obviously, if we have any kind of emergencies or failures, we break out of that and go back into real time, and we deal with those issues in real time. So you can just assume, rest assured, if the time compression, the music continues, all is well in the aircraft. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on board. We're taking about 143 people today. The aircraft is already connected to power and has been warmed up by the ground crew. The aircraft came in from another flight earlier, and we're taking it for its next flight of the day back to Phoenix as the receiving crew. So let's get on board. All right, here we are in the cockpit of the McDonnell Douglas MD-82 once again, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at everything. As you can see, it's already running with power. The engines are shut down, obviously, but power's on the aircraft, and we're actually connected to ground power at the moment, although I think they left the APU on as well. Yes, they did. So we don't have to worry about starting that. The APU is already running, so that's kind of convenient today. But that means we're also burning some fuel. So let's go ahead and get over into the pilot's seat and start to do some initial checks before we let passengers start to board. So to do that, first thing we want to do is we want to verify the emergency lights are unarmed. We're going to start refueling here in a second, so the seatbelt sign is off. And let's actually call for the refuel right now so that can get going. So we're going to do this, request refueling. They're going to come on and take care of that. I've done the numbers in the background already, so we already have all that set up. It's just a matter of getting them to come do it. All right, we need to make sure the ground interphone is on to talk to the ground crew there. And as you can see, the APU is available. We're on the ground bus right now. I'm going to go ahead and just switch over to APU since we've got it. That way, when that disconnects, we don't all of a sudden lose everything. Since it's running, we might as well avail ourselves of that. APU air is also running, and that's right there. And so we want to make sure the pack systems are on. It can be quite warm here in Texas, so want to make sure the air is flowing for those passengers. And that's all set up. We got the one boost pump on for the fuel to run that, so that's good. All right, we'll also make sure the windshield anti-fog, anti-ices are on to keep those windshields warmed up, and make sure the cockpit doors are unlocked so if the flight attendants need to get to us for anything. The last thing we're going to do on this panel before we start boarding passengers is we're going to check the pressurization, and to do that we need to double check the altitude here in Dallas. I can't remember what the field elevation is. So let me pull that up on my charts here just real quick. I'll show you the charts, what we're using today, in just a little bit. But for now, 606, that's right. So 606 on the, that's going to be, yeah, it's right in there somewhere. 606, we'll get the baro here in a moment, but that'll give the system at least a good starting place for the pressurization. To do that, if you hear me sniffling a little bit, it is allergy season here in Fresno, and yeah, the pollen is everywhere. Everywhere! Okay. All right, so with all that being done, which is verify the flaps are down, the flaps are up, the spoilers are down, the throttles are idle, fuel's cut off, and all is happy days. And we do have the nav lights on since we have power on the bird. And last but not least, we will check the, there we go, just make sure the parking brake is set. Let's go ahead and start loading passengers. So to do that, we're going to go over here, and actually, before I do that, I want to make sure our fuel truck is over there. I don't think he's here yet. I have not seen him, no. Oh, I think that's him coming right there, maybe. Alright. So he's almost here. We'll go ahead and start loading passengers. Alright. And we'll say request boarding. At the same time, we're going to go up here and go to PAX. We're going to be using this today to simulate some passenger operations in the air, a little more realism. Start flight. We're flying for American today. Next. And this is all correct, but this I'm going to add 10 minutes to, just to give myself a little bit of a buffer. We're actually in MD82 and we have 143 people, and that's all fine there, so let's say start. Alright, people are coming on board, and that's going to start going nicely. So, given that reality, let's go ahead and hit the ACARS setup, and then we'll look over at the flight planning documents together. So we're going to come down here and we're going to do menu, ACARS, AOC standard, pre-flight, init data. We need to do our flight number, which is 618 today. Today's date is the 2nd of April. Today's Good Friday. Origin station is KDFW. And we're leaving and going to Phoenix, which is KPHX. Estimated time en route is 2 hours and 13 minutes. And our estimated time of departure is about 18:15 Zulu. Our full ATC name is AAL682. There we go. That finishes that up. We're going to go to weight and balance. Trip fuel today is 16,224. Taxi fuel is 800.
Good morning.
And block fuel is 26,525. There we go. We'll hit send on that. And we'll hit the flight plan button, and then we'll also go to requests, and we'll get our ATIS for the weather here. Airport KDFW. We want a departure ATIS. And, oops, that's annoying. KDFW. And send that along. There we go. Alright, we go to received messages now. We should be getting our ATIS first. There it is. And we're going to be departing runway 17 right today. We're in South Flow. Wind is 140 at 16, gusting 14. It's a little bit blustery today. 10-mile visibility, scattered at 25,000. And if we go to the next page here, we can see temperatures 19, dew points -1, and the QNH is 3037. So, whoops. 3037, so let's set that. 3037, very high pressure today. And we'll set that over here as well. Yeah.
Morning.
That's obnoxious, okay. To get rid of that, we just do that. You just touch it and it's fine.
Morning. Good morning.
Alright, so those match. Let's go ahead and get it up here as well. 3037 for our landing barrow. Again, we do this one, we're not landing in Dallas, but if we had to come back because of a mechanical failure, we'd want the pressurization set for here. Once we get to cruise, we'll change this to the Phoenix landing altitude. So. Alright, so that is good to go there. This should give us our preliminary information now with the crew message. Yep. And preliminary stuff, this is, we get this from American's headquarters. Once the final passenger count is on, this is a little different from what I've got because they do the little augmentation, and then hopefully it factors out to about what we planned for. So we'll use this initially, and then we'll fix it when the time comes. So let's go over here and set up our box. So positioning it, first of all, we are at KDFW. And we need to put the position in there. We're just going to verify that it is pretty similar. Yes. There we go. And we're we're going to Phoenix, KPHX. We should have the company route in there, so we can go that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your flight attendant speaking.
I'm going to try to see if I click that too, if it adds it. That'd be cool.
Cool.
There we go. There's our route minus the departure and arrival pages. So we'll do departure, arrival. Departure is going to be off of 17 right. And we are taking the Swabber 7.
Once all your items are put away,
Not sure how you're supposed to
clear the
pronounce
aisle
that,
and sit down in your
but
seat
it looks
to
like
allow other
Swabber 7 to
passengers
me.
to find their seats
And
as well.
that is
You are
where
seated in
there
an
it is.
emergency exit row.
Swabber
Please
7
leave the
and
exit
CCAN, I believe it's transition. Yes,
card
it
in the
is.
seat back in front of you.
Go
Please make
to
sure you are willing
route.
and able to perform the
And
actions
we'll go back to
required.
departure,
If you are not
arrival,
able or prefer not
arrival.
to perform these actions, please
That
let a
lady's a
flight
little bit loud. I'm
attendant
going to
know.
turn her down.
Now's the time to get out any last-minute text messages.
There we go.
But we ask that once you depart from the gate, you put away
Close that
any
door.
laptops or
All right. So the Phoenix arrival, we're planning the pinning 1 into Phoenix. Oops, there it was. Pinning 1, and it's the driver transition. And they are in a westerly flow today. The winds are calm, and that usually means they default to westerly flow. In the real world, I checked. So we're going to plan ILS 26. We're not going to use the zero-low transition because that would only really help us if we were coming from the northeast. We're going to be coming from the southeast, so that would be out of our way. So we're not going to do that. All right, so we're going to go back to route. We're going to activate and execute. We're going to check our legs and make sure all of our legs are in here. We do not have any discontinuities. There we go. That's runway 26, so we're all good there. Back to initial reference, and now we can add in this fun stuff. So just want to make sure we don't have any more messages. We do not, so we're going to go off of this. Zero fuel weight is showing right now 114.5. 114.5. Reserves, according to the flight plan, are 6681, which is 6.7, we round. Total fuel is going to be 26,525. 26.5 / normal. I can find the N key. There you go. We're flying at 32,000 feet today, westerly, which means even altitude. Cruise winds. Let's see. I did not load the flight plan into active sky yet, so let me do that. That'll get us our weather brief. 262 at 26. And our top of climb temperature is -40. And that gets an ISO deviation of 9. Alright, takeoff is set there. Gross weight is factoring in at 141 currently with our zero fuel and fuel setup. And so based on that, we also need to verify that these are set how we want. That is 11, good. And our CG, I think, was 13.6, as it said right there. So let's go there, 13.6. We need to bring this down. Whoa. Never seen it do that before. I can't just grab this, by the way. No, I can't. I could do that with that, probably.
You're ready to go when you are.
Alright, so it sounds like boarding is complete. We're probably still waiting on bags, 'cause I think the fuel is still going in. I think it just, are they still fueling or did it just stop? It looked like it just stopped. So, in fact, they put more fuel on than are we supposed to be 25? Oh no, 26.5, yeah, sorry. Getting my numbers mixed up, alright. Alright, so let's see if they've given us, we haven't gotten a new one yet, but that's okay. Alright, so we pull up our takeoff data page here. Gross weight 141. We're going to burn off quite a bit of fuel in the taxi here, so we're going to call that 140. And we'll do that right there. And so that gives us 139, 143, 152. We're already running just a little bit late here, so we'll get the final numbers when they finish loading the cargo. So we're going to go with those numbers for now. 152 is, we're going to put that in the speed box. 152, and we'll look at the departure here right now, actually. So let's do that. Alright, so if we look over here at the tablet, again, this is not in the sim, this is something I created for the videos and my live stream. Here is the airport map for DFW, shows we are currently at Charlie 31 right there. So we're going to plan to push back and taxi straight out Echo Lima to, I think we'll take it all the way to Lima, Echo Lima to Lima, and then Lima all the way up to Echo Foxtrot for 17 right. 176 is the heading, and we have lots of runway, 13,400 feet to take off. I'm going to try and derate today. I think I realized what I was doing wrong the other day. I figured it out like afterwards. I was like, oh man, okay. SID today is the Swabber, where are you at? Swabber 7. There we go. Swabber 7, and I don't know why it gave me this departure. This departure is incorrect. You know what, SimBrief? I should have checked this beforehand. Swabber 7 is for props only. We are not a prop. This is an incorrect departure. So there is a... Let's see if it says which one we should use. Sometimes it tells us. No? Okay. Let's see here. What is the equivalent? Let's look at the overview. So that's a Swabber. We want one that's going to CCAN, preferably. I don't know if anything else goes to CCAN. I thought there was. Oh, I'll look at the wrong departure here. 17 right. There we go. Here we go. So it looks like the WestTex 2 is what I want. WestTex 2. There we go. There we go. WestTex 2 ends at CCAM. There we go. Okay, so we're going to change it to that. So that's a top altitude of 10,000. We take off 176, and then we shoot over 185 to Laren, above 5,000, max 240 knots, and then Gig'em, Rabbit, Live, WestTex, and then CCAM. No more altitude or speed restrictions after that. 3,600 is our minimum safe altitude. And this is turbojets only. Yeah, see, there we go. For non, that's okay. No, RNFK. See, this one tells you for the props which one to use. It didn't tell us in the other one, which is kind of annoying. And so everything else here is standard fare. Yeah. Yep, for us, top altitude 10,000. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, 10,000. We're going to refile that real quick in our flight plan. We'll change that, and it's going to be no big deal. So 10,000, we'll set here. 176 on the heading. As I go too far, there we go. All right, so we're going to go down to departure arrival. Departure is actually going to be the WestTex departure. WestTex 2, there we go. CCAN transition. Execute that. Check our legs again. Make sure nothing broke. That broke, but we can fix that. There we go. All right, fixed. And now I'll change that on the flight plan VPOW. We don't have any air traffic control right now, so it's not really an issue. Do we not have... what's going on here? Why are they not... Oh, they're still loading bags. Okay, that's why. I thought they were done. All right, see, we got time anyway because they're a little slow on the baggage uptake today, so saving our bacon. All right, let me go into flight plan real quick and just fix this. This is the WestTex 2, and file that. All right, flight plan's updated. Everything's good. Everything's normal. We did take an extra 1,000 pounds of fuel. There is a little bit of cumulonimbus activity right around Phoenix, and so just in case we have to dodge around some weather, I took an extra 1,000 pounds of captain's fuel just to account for that, in case there's an issue. We are going to try and flex today, so to do that, we're going to turn off the ART, the I think it's like automated rated thrust or something like that. And we need to hit takeoff flex. That's what I was not doing. And now I can use this to change this. We're going to flex to 45 right there, and that pulls our EPR down. Okay, so it sounds like we just got our
Good afternoon,
final
gentlemen, and welcome
numbers.
aboard flight 680
Whoops.
with service to Phoenix.
Load sheet,
Our
yeah,
flight
there we
time
go.
will be roughly 2
Gotta acknowledge
hours
that.
and
So
22
final zero fuel weight
Now that
is
the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in
115.57,
airplane mode
so
and your large devices are
115.1.
now shut down
So
and
let's go
stowed.
back to this,
Fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all three
115.1. We're
tables
going to
can
change
be
that
fastened
there.
full upright and locked
And
before departure. Flight attendants, please prepare cabin for departure and cross-check.
our MACTO is now 13.8, so we're at 13.7. That's close enough, so we're just going to leave that where it is. That does, though, make this a little bit higher, 141.6, which means we're going to aim for 141. So we're going to move that up. That's going to change these numbers ever so slightly. 140, 143, and 152 stay the same. It's just V1 is the only number that changed for us, so that's okay. And that's all good to go. All right. We've got 142 passengers after all. We were supposed to have 143, so that changed our numbers ever so slightly in the final count. And everything else is good. So we go return there. Actually, I'll leave it on receive messages. Here we'll go to the legs page. And just a few little things I want to double check here real quick. We're going to do a anti-skid test. We're going to do a stall test. Yaw damp off, yaw damp on, and ice FOD. Okay, that's good to go. We're going to lock the cockpit door. I'm going to check our annunciator lights real quick. Just make sure that nothing's broken. Doesn't look like it is. Seatbelt sign's coming on. And let's go ahead and have them disconnect the ground power.
Yes, sir. You're cleared to disconnect. Thanks.
Since we're on the APU already, so we don't have to worry about that. One less thing. And we can go ahead. They closed the doors already, so let's go ahead and move the jetway. And we're going to call for push and start. As soon as he gets his little booty over here. We're going to set 2000 on the transponder because we don't have any ATC online at the moment. As soon as that puts away, this guy should come over here and start loading us up. There he comes. All right, let's go ahead and put the beacon on. That'll signal to everyone that the aircraft is going to be moving here very shortly. And with that, we're also going to turn on the aux hydraulic pump and the trans pump.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
That'll get us some initial hydraulic power until the engines start up. Flight directors are on. I'm going to cycle them just because I want to make sure that there wasn't anything
Locking gear.
left over from the last flight. Since I didn't turn them on. Let's see. Nose to the right, please.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
All right, brakes going off.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, we're clear for engine start. So we're going to turn the packs off. We're going to turn the fuel pumps on. Engine ignition goes to both. And we start number 2. Into rotation.
Please direct your attention to the front of the aircraft for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is on, please
Wait for about 20%.
fasten low and tight across your lap. fasten, insert the metal fittings into one
Fuel
another.
on.
Tighten by pulling
Fuel
on the
flow.
end of the strap.
Light up.
To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt
And there's the
fastened
generator
in case
kicking
of
over the
unexpected
bus.
turbulence.
So
There
let's
are
turn the
several
starter
emergency
off
exits
at that
on this
point.
aircraft. Please
Let
take a
this
few
engine
moments
settle
now to
down.
locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you.
Temperature's
If you
coming
need to
down. That's a
evacuate
good
the
sign.
aircraft,
So let's go
low
ahead
level
and
lights
start
will guide
number
you towards the
1.
exit. In the event of a loss of cabin
Set
pressure,
parking
an
brakes.
oxygen mask
All right,
will
ready
drop
for
in front
parking
of you.
brake. Set
Press
that.
the glow box
We have
and pull
N2
the mask
rotation on
towards
number
you.
1.
Firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and tighten the straps if necessary. And don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Oxygen is flowing
And
to the mask
20%.
and
Fuel on.
normally.
Fuel flow.
If you're traveling
Light
with
up.
children, now's the time to pick your favorite one. But secure your mask and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the event that the
Unlocking
pilot
gear.
decides to take us for a swim, a fashionable life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or
Those
between your
fun
arms.
sounds you're hearing is a
You want
pilot's
to
life
check
that I
in,
forgot
so
to
open the
set an
plastic pouch
aircraft
and
for,
remove
so
the vest. Flip it
that's
over
now
your head.
started.
Wrap the straps around your waist and
All
buckle
right.
at the front. Pull the
Engine went
straps
onto
tightly.
the bus,
To replace the
and
vest,
that
pull
started. We'll
firmly
go
on the
back to
red cord
off.
only when exiting the aircraft.
We
If
do
your
have
light
stuff
vest
in the
does
center
not
tank,
inflate
so we're going to put the center
automatically,
tanks
blow into
on
the
now.
mouthpieces for manual inflation.
Pitot
Each
heat
vest
comes
is equipped
on.
with a whistle and light.
Packs come back
If
in.
necessary, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary for the device.
Gonna just
Once
double
again,
check
all
the
devices must be in airplane
Left
mode
is
and
clear.
your larger devices
Right
air
is clear.
system here and make sure the auto commands it back.
Please
Yes, it
securely
does.
stow
Good.
your personal
Outflow valve's
items.
working.
Make sure your seatbelts are fastened in seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you
All right.
that this is a non-smoking
Seatbelt signs
flight.
are on.
Tampering
That's all
with
good to
seat tables or
go.
destroying the smoke
We can go ahead and
detectors
take
located in
the
lavatories is
APU
prohibited
off
by
the
law.
bus. We're going
All
to turn
of
the
this
APU
information
air
and
off
more can be
and
found in the
the
safety code
APU
located in
master
the
can
seat
go
back in
off.
front of you. We suggest reading
Cross
this and
bleeds
letting
can
a
go
cabin member
back
know if you have
off.
any
We'll
questions.
go to auto
Thank you
brake
for
for
flying with us
takeoff
again,
and
we hope
arm
you
that.
enjoy your flight.
And TCAS goes to TARA. All right. Let's do a control check here. Left, right, forward, back, left rudder, right rudder, and neutral. All right, control check's good. Landing lights extended. Taxi light on. And are we on Unicom? We are not. 1, 2, 2. 0.8. If I can find it. Wrong way. There we go. And we need to make sure we're on that guy. There we go. Alright. Forward traffic, American 618 type MD82, taxiing the runway 17 right from the Charlie Gates via Lima. Forward traffic. Alright, brakes off. Here we go. Let's see here. I'll get on one of these, put us right in the middle of the lines here. I want to be on one of them. Alright, we're probably going to be just a little late on our departure for the passengers. So I'm going to let them know here in just a second. Because we're supposed to be wheels up in 5 minutes, and I don't know that we're going to be the end of the runway in 5 minutes, so...
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the unfortunate duty to inform you that due to traffic, we are going to be very slightly behind schedule. We do apologize for this slight inconvenience.
Alright, so we want to be over here after all, because this is Kilo, not Lima. And I'm taking Lima. So I guess I probably could have stayed where I was, but it's okay. Again, this is Dallas-Fort Worth by FS Dream Team. It's a bit of an older scenery. It still looks pretty good. Where it really lacks is in the night textures. There is no dynamic lights here, and so it's not the best at night. But during the day, it looks quite good. It's not too bad on the frames. Alright, so it's rolling out down Lima to the end of the runway. Got an American tail over here. We're on VATSIM. That looks like a 777 maybe. It's kind of a big guy. Oh, maybe not. Nope, that's like a 787 based on the tail. So a little bit of traffic sitting here at Dallas today. I do realize we did not set our flaps, so we need to do that. So flaps to 11. We need to arm our speed brake. And we'll go ahead and turn the weather radar on now. And this is in a... There we go. Okay. Make sure our bugs here are set to for takeoff. Art, you know, oh, yeah. I turned it off. Yeah, this is a normal indication to see when you have this off to flex, so just know that. Just kill that master caution there. That is perfectly normal. So we're watching our TCAS thing here. I don't see any traffic. I haven't heard anybody on I think that's our cabin ready there. Let's go ahead and just make sure the flight attendants know to be seated for departure. And ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is Captain speaking. We are just about to take the runway for our departure, so at this time make sure you're seated with the seat backs and tray tables in their full upright positions and seatbelts fastened. Flight attendants, take your seats for departure at this time. Alright, so here is Echo Foxtrot. Forward traffic, American 618 type MD82, lining up and taking off runway 17 right, departure to the south and then the west, Fort Worth traffic. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put the strobes on as we enter the runway environment. Alright, landing lights are on. Auto thrust is armed now. And here we go. Stand the throttles up. And they're stable.
Takeoff thrust set.
Alright, fantastic.
Clamp.
There's clamp. 80 knots.
80 knots. Cross check.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. Lights out.
Alright, so we're going to go VNav and nav. Autopilot's not on, that's just for the flight director. Just follow the flight director. Remember, we have to fly down basically just south to that first waypoint there. It's got a at or above 5,000 restriction and a 240 knot speed restriction. And we're going to go ahead and go flaps up.
Flap 0.
And there's 200. We'll go slats up.
Slats retracted.
Flaps and slats are retracted. We're cleaned up. Just going to work on trimming out the airplane a little bit here. So not to put as much pressure on the yoke. Also come down here. We'll turn that off. We'll go back to normal on that. Fort Worth traffic, American 618 passing 4,800 clear of the airport area. Fort Worth traffic.
Yeah, Fort Worth traffic, American 2822 is on the left base for 177 Dallas Fort Worth, target flight.
Alright, so we passed 5,000, so we're good on that part of the restriction anyway. No issues there. Go ahead and switch this back to climb power, since VNav has put us there anyway. And we can go ahead and turn this guy off now. Or turn him back on, I guess, back to auto. Alright, there's our turn. Some nice fluffy clouds here today. Nothing dangerous, just big marshmallows in the sky. The only potentially significant weather en route is right there near Phoenix, and that's the isolated CB activity.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. Turn on
And
larger,
we need to go
portable
ahead and
electronic
set
devices.
this up
This is also a reminder to use seatbelt fastened throughout
to
the
our
duration of
cruise
flight.
altitude,
Not
since we
form a
do not
line
have
afterwards.
it's not going to pay attention. There we go. We have climb. Alright, as we pass 10,000, I'm going to go ahead and put the autopilot on. We're going to go ahead and turn off the lights and verify that the pressurization is working. It is. We're going to come down here and turn off the trans pump and the aux.
Southwest traffic, American 2822 is on a 10 mile
And
final
go to
runway
low
at
on the
177 altimeter.
hydraulics. Everything else is looking good. We're bugged for 32. The next step is going to be transition altitude, 18,000 feet. We'll set standard on the Barrow. That'll be in just a little bit here. We're kind of going through a cloud at the moment, so there's not much to see. Oh, there we go. Alright, we're passing 18,000 feet now, so we're going to go ahead and set standard. So this goes back to 2992. And I can't see that one from a distance, so we're going to zoom in there. 2992. There we go. And we'll continue our climb up to 32,000 feet. All right, so I brought you back in here because we have an issue. We just got an alert that we have a right generator and right CSD oil pressure low. You notice the right engine is still running, so we don't have a loss of an engine, but we apparently have lost the generator. The generator is on, and we're getting no volts on the load there. You see, we see volts on the one has gone up a little bit, but we don't have anything on the other one. So we can run off of one generator, but we're going to pull out the QRH here, which is the Quick Reference Handbook. I actually have one for the real MD80 given to me by a friend of mine. And so I'm just going to look down here at the electrical page, and we see loss of both engine gens, left or right. So this is all in section, looks like, let's just verify where we are here. Yeah, so it looks like we'll start with section 3. And just want to make sure. That's for both engine generators, so that's not the situation. So gen off light on, which is what we have right now. So that's the right gen off light, and it's associated with a CSD oil pressure low. So it might be an issue of the CSD died, and that's why we lost the generator. But we're going to run through the checklist here and just see. So associated generator switch reset off. So we're going to go ahead and switch it off, reset, and back to off. Meter select switch associated generator. So we want to make sure that let's go up here real quick and check this. So I want to look at the meter for that gen, and I got to figure out where. Oh, here we go. So left, right. So all the meters are showing nothing. Interesting. We have. Oh, that's just okay. All right. So AC volts frequency check. So AC volts are 0. Frequency is 0. It's dead. Within allowable limits, it is not. Not within allowable limits, because there's nothing there. Not within allowable limits, or gen will not stay connected to the distribution system. Gen switch to off, which it is. And prior to landing, one air conditioning supply switch off, galley switch off if desired. If desired, APU start, APU power available light on, meter switch select APU, APU volts normal, left to right bus switch. Okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to operate, because at altitude the APU is not going to start. So we've got a, and you can see the oil pressure on the CSD here. We got a whole lot of nothing on the right side. So the other thing, the CSD disconnect is guarded right now. We could disconnect that if we wanted to, I suppose, but you can't reset that in the air anyway. So the right generator switch is now just dead, and that's fine. We have enough to run off the other system, so that's what we're doing. Basically, what they're saying to do is when we get down low, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate this light. On the approach, generally you're right around 14,000 feet or so. We can probably try and start the APU, and that way we'll have that running for our approach into Phoenix, and we'll have the right APU gen on. So that way we have two sources of electrical power at that point. So we're just going to run off the one gen for now, which is fine. That's why we got the redundancy. We're a little more than our halfway point. We've got, let's see here, progress page. We got 322 miles to Phoenix to go. 2044 Zulu is our arrival time, and it is 1953. So yeah, so that's about 50 minutes or so to Phoenix. So we're just gonna keep running off the one gen. If we lose the second one, obviously, we'll have to switch the emergency batteries and start the APU regardless. But on the landing roll, we definitely want the APU running, because that way if something does cut out, you don't want to be trying to scramble to do that while you're trying to approach the land. So in the cruise here, we're fine, and we can sustain. I think though what they want us to do is turn off one of the packs just to put down some, eliminate some of the strain on the system. And as a result, I'm also going to open up the cross bleeds to make sure that that can handle that. So you saw the, you may have seen the outflow valve change a little bit when I did that. It's because now there's not as much pressure coming in, so it's got to augment with the pressure. And so we'll just make sure the pressurization holds with the one pack running. But that'll allow some amperage load off of the left generator to do that. So. Galley was off already anyway. I keep forgetting to turn that galley power switch on. So yeah, so a little bit of excitement here in the cockpit. Every once in a while we get a failure. The Mad Dog's an old bird, so every once in a while. But we're fine. No loss of an engine, so we're just going to keep plugging away with a single generator. They'll have to check that on the ground when we get to Phoenix. Maintenance will do their thing, and we'll just watch and make sure nothing else creeps up on us. So I do want to kind of monitor this guy, make sure we stay in the realm. Cabin is not climbing or descending, so that's good. So we're holding. Yeah. Also, I did set the we set the landing altitude already in Phoenix for 11:35, and last I checked, the Barrow for Phoenix is looking like it's 290, so that's simple. We'll just put it right there, and then we'll get a when we get to almost the top of descent, we'll check the Phoenix ATIS one more time, and we'll make sure that we have current informations. So yeah, so that's where we're at. One generator operating. When we get down on our descent, we'll go ahead and fire up the APU and make sure we have that available for us. And let's see, I think those are in auto. Yeah. So what's happening right here with the electrical system is we don't have anything on this side, but because the AC bus tie is an auto, it's got both of these on the bus anyway. So this guy's running both buses and is running both DC transformer rectifiers, and that's why we have voltage on all of them. So all of our systems are powered as per normal, and you can see we have air in the crossbleed trunk right there. All right, we'll see you back here as we get close to the top of descent. Alright, we're just about to
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the
get to our
fasten
top descent here. I just turned the seatbelt sign on. We've entered a little bit of area of clearer turbulence here. It's getting kind of rough and bumpy. So seatbelt signs on, will remain on for the rest of the flight. We're 70 miles from our top of descent, so we need to look at the arrival chart here and see what we got going on. No air traffic control is on at this moment. Fort Worth Center came on now, but we've been well out of their airspace for quite a while. So yeah, we're on our own still. So let's go ahead and look at the arrival here into Arizona. That's the pinning one. Go ahead and bring up the tablet here. And we're coming in. Driver is our waypoint here, and it looks like we're en route to Driver right now. We're actually about to cross it in about 3 miles. So we're going to hit Driver. Following that, Banker, which is a 280 knot speed restriction at between flight level 280 and 250. Then we have Hybrid between 250 and 220. Pinning 270 at or above 17,000. Bradley or Birdie, sorry, at 250 knots at above 13,000. And it's right around here that we will probably go ahead and try and flip on the APU. Over here we got PAR 230 knots between 12,000 and 10,000. PERC at 210 between 9,000 and 8,000. FINAP between 6,000 and 5,000. And then for us, because we're going to 2.6, is going to be JAGL at or above 4,000. And we expect ILS localizer vectors to a final approach there at that point, which we'll do ourselves because we don't have air traffic control. So the bottom of the star is 4,000. So that's what we're going to arm on our in our cockpit here in just a moment. We just want to be aware of the mountainous area that we're coming out over. Again, if we stick to the star, then we're fine. Once we're within 25 miles of the airport, our minimum safe altitude is going to be 6,100 feet. Airport elevation is 1,135 feet or so today. And we're going to go ahead and get the ATIS here real quick for Phoenix and just make sure nothing's changed. But right now we're looking at JAGL's our final waypoint for the star, and 4,000 feet. Let's switch over to the, actually before we go to the approach, let's go ahead and check the ATIS first, just make sure nothing's changed. So let's turn the tablet off, and let's go over here, and let's get our approach ATIS. So we'll go request ATIS, approach ATIS, or arrival ATIS rather, and we're going to do Phoenix, PHX. And we're going to send that off. And we're going to wait for that to show up here. There it comes. And, alright, so yeah, they're still landing on the 2.6s. Wind is still calm. Look at that. 2988 is the current METAR in Arizona there. Holy moly. Temperature 3.1, dew point -4. Yeah, it's desert temperatures, alright. So it's going to be hot. So yeah, QNH 2988, and once we're on the ground with the APU running as well, we'll go ahead and kick on the other pack just to make sure we can cool the plane down for our passengers. So, but we'll wait until we're on the ground for that one. 2988 though is what we're going to set for up here on our pressurization panel, so we're going to scale that down just a scotch right there, and we need to set 4,000 in our altitude window, so we're going to do that now. 4,000 and arm that, so we got 4,000. We're on VNAV, so when we hit our top of descent, that will automatically start our descent on down. Weather's good, so we're going to do auto brake to min today. We won't be able to arm that until we get flaps 28 out. We're going to land flaps 40. And let's also take a look over here at our landing data. We look like we're supposed to have about 9.8 on our fuel left over when we land. And you know what? I didn't do this. This is my bad. What did our zero fuel weight end up being? It was like 15.1, I think it was. So this is all incorrect. Stand by. Let me fix this. 15. There we go. All right, so that's more accurate now. All right, so we're supposed to have 9.8. We're at 12.3 now, so we're going to lose, what is that, 2.5 off of this. So we're at 127,450, so we're going to basically go back down to 125 even, is what we're looking at for our gross weight. So we're going to move this down to 125. That's a good estimate. If we go to this that matches that, that's good. So yeah, so 125 is going to be our landing data information. We're going to be doing flaps 40, which gives us a 129 knot VREF, and we can then switch this over here to change our bugs to be set up for that. So ILS 111.75, it already has that dialed in for the Phoenix 26 there. We have to do that here, and we're going to double check the chart and just make sure that is accurate. I believe it is. So if we look up runway 26 here, we see 111.75. We do. So we're going to set 111.75, and that is 258 on the course. And we're going to do the same thing over here, 111.75. That was dumb. There we go. And 258 on the course. There we go. All right, so the frequencies are dialed in for both sides. That's ready to go. Our landing data is checked and ready to go. We've set our auto brake for what we want to do. Pressurization panel is set up. Passengers are already in their seats. And we are ready for our top of descent. Remember, this is right around the area we had the possible issues with convective activity. It's probably it's just spotty stuff from what I was looking at earlier, and so I don't see anything right now. The weather radar is on, so we'll see anything pop up if it's coming, but it shouldn't be an issue. 20 miles top of descent. And here is the, real quick, this is the approach plate for runway 26. So you can see our localizer frequency, our final approach course here, and then our missed approach is climb to 2,500 feet, climbing right turn to 5,000 on a heading of 030, and the PXR VOR 336 radial to event 15.9 DME away and a hold. So the PXR VOR is the Phoenix VOR, that's this guy right here. So we take off, we climb 2,500, then we turn right to 030. We intercept that 336 radial off of the VOR and head to event, which is 15.9 DME from Phoenix. And we would hold. Now for us, we would do this, and then we would go ahead and come back around and enter the final approach again and just set ourselves up. If we had air traffic control, they would vector us at the right time. We don't have air traffic control, so we got to do that ourselves. Once again, on the final approach course, you can look here and see 6,200 feet is the minimum safe altitude within 25 miles, again, because of these mountains back here. We're pretty safe once we're on the approach. Jaggle, I think... No, sorry. Prune is the final approach fix right there, but even as far out as Jaggle, we're still plenty safe from the terrain there. On the missed approach, though, it's 5,800 feet on that side of that radial there. Less mountains further away, so not as much of an issue. Jaggle at 4,000, final approach fix Prune at 3,000, and then on down on the glide slope. We're just checking the notes here to see we got a 3-degree glide slope. Our minimums for us today, ILS is 250, so 250 radio, 1385 baro, and that all is good there. Once we land on, oops, that's not the right thing. Once we land at Phoenix, we have 11,489 feet of runway, so lots of runway. Probably end up coming off Bravo 8, Bravo 7, Bravo 6 at worst, hopefully. And then we'll taxi back via Bravo all the way to Charlie 9 and go in at Charlie 9. Our gate is right about here. It's Alpha 6 today, and that's where we're parking up. And that is the approach briefing complete. Alright, we need to set our minimums there at 250, so that's this knob here. There's 250 set for the mins. And top descent should be happening any moment now. Yep, 2 miles. 1 mile. The notifications have gone away for the right gen and the CSD, but they're still dead, so it's not like the problem has fixed itself. But we will wait till we get below 15,000 before we try and start the APU, just to make starting easier. Sometimes it won't start. Most of the time, it won't start at high altitude. The air is too thin to start up. Looks like passengers are relatively happy. I'm showing a 93% satisfaction rate. That's probably based on the fact that we had that pretty nasty turbulence there for a little bit. But they're doing good now. Once we pass, once we get near 10,000 feet, we'll also go ahead and trip on the hydraulic aux and trans pumps. If we had lost an engine, we would have lost hydraulics on the one side, and so I would have flipped the trans pump on, but because all we lost was the gen, we didn't lose the hydraulics, so that wasn't necessary. Alright, it's wanting us to add some drag, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Bring the spoiler in here. As that meets up with that speed arrow, we'll put the spoiler back down. Again, you'll find the Mad Dog will ask you to do that quite a bit on approaches where the star has a lot of different steps on it. If it's relatively a smooth descent path down, the Mad Dog does a much better job managing that, but it has a lot of trouble managing the star speeds with lots of steps. We saw that going into Dallas, and Phoenix, this approach has a lot of that too, so it is what it is. There we go again, see? So we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of help with the speed, and give it a little bit of a speed brake as we come down here. Again, if you've got a Bravo or something similar that has a speed brake on it that you can actually physically keep your hand on, that is better, because then you never forget that your speed brake is on. You'll see a lot of times in the real world when they're doing that in approach, one person will keep their hand actually on the speed brake so they know and just remember that it's down. You don't want to leave that down for forever and then get down to the runway and you're just sinking on arrival. That would not end well. Your gear will not be very happy with you. Take a look up here and just look at the cabin altitude. Make sure it looks like it is slowly decreasing as well. Oh, we got our notifications back. So I'm not sure why they went away for a little while there, but they're back now. That's the ATIS. We can just discard that. Next waypoint here is pinning 270 knots at or above 17,000. So we'll see, actually this has already come in. So yeah, we're already doing the 270 knot restriction. We're below, there's two transitions. So there's a transition level for the difference between altitudes and flight levels. And in the United States, that's always 18,000 feet. In different parts of the world, that is that number changes and can change quite drastically. In certain parts of England, for instance, it's 3,000 feet. In other parts of Europe, it's 5,000 feet. In some areas, it's 11,000 feet. So it just depends on where that transition happens and when you switch over from local altimeter setting to standard altimeter. The other transition happens as your speedo transitions from a Mach readout to an indicated airspeed readout. And that's usually going to occur somewhere in the vicinity of 27 to 23,000 feet, somewhere in there. It just depends on what's going on. But you'll watch as your Mach speed starts to traipse off quite a bit, and you switch over to airspeed. Because what happens is, as your altitude increases, your airspeed, your indicated airspeed will drop off. So you could end up doing, at very high altitudes, you end up doing what looks like 250 knots, but you're actually doing 450 to 500 knots, depending on the winds. And so that's why you use your Mach indicator to figure out what a better position on your speed is. But once the air gets thick enough, the indicated airspeed becomes a little bit more reliable with that, so we can switch back to that. And we're getting close to transition altitude. We're about to pass 19,000. Once we pass 18, we'll switch over from standard to local, which again is 2988. Just passing the pinning waypoint now. Now we're heading to Birdie. 250 knot speed restriction at or above 13,000 feet. And there's 18,000, so let's go ahead and set 2988. There we go, 29er, whoops, too far. This one's sensitive. 2988. And that should have set the FOs automatically. I have them linked, so they should go, yep, 2988, perfect. Perfect. Alright, once we get below 15, we'll go ahead and attempt to start the APU. comes 15. There it is. Alright, so let's try and start our APU. So to do that, we're just going to go ahead and select the APU master switch to on for a moment. And then we're going to hold that down. And I see it firing up here. We're waiting for some EGT rise. There we go. We'll let that go. Go ahead and run. Looks like we're going to get a good start off of it. We just pressed Birdie. We're on the way to par now. 230 knot speed restriction between 12,000 and 10,000. And it's right in there that we'll go ahead and bring our hydraulics in. We'll probably also start to get in a position where we're going to start putting out some slats. Alright, so we now have the APU available light. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the APU online on the right side. That'll help load shed a little bit now on the other side. So they're sharing the load a little bit. Actually, what we'll do is I'm actually going to turn on the left bus. This won't do anything. It won't take over because the engine bus has priority. So you notice there was no clap. But that way, if we do lose the left engine generator for whatever reason, the APU left bus will automatically kick in. So we'll have that ready to go. All right. And we need a little bit of spoilers there. Alright, that's close enough. We're going to go ahead and turn on the pumps to high on both sides. You'll see our hydraulics come up from 15 to about 30. And then we're going to put the aux pump on and the trans pump on. And that will runs that off of the aux pump is electrically driven off of the electrical system, obviously, so it can be powered by the APU or the engine generators. But it's not mechanically associated to either of the engines. So if we were to lose all the engines and we still have electrical power from either the APU or the battery or something, then we can still run that pump to get a little bit of... Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select any crash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in a full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat. Alright, so they're making their final announcement to the passengers about our final descent into Phoenix. Everything for us is set up. I'm probably going to get another notice to use the speed brake here in a second because we've got to... So we're already exceeding our speed restriction, so I'm going to help it out before it knows it. Because it's about to go from 230, which we're already violating, up to 210. We're down to 210. That thing's going to move any moment now. But it's got to get us down. Yeah, I waited a little bit too long to get us down here. Got to be between 8,000 and 9,000, so it's got to get us below this here. There we go. I was waiting for me to put the slats down.
Slats extended.
Alright, so slats are in. We're below 10,000. Landing lights are coming on. I'm going to put the nose lights to dim, so it's only one switch away for bright when we get our clearance, which we're going to give it to ourselves, provided nobody comes on here. Right now, it's still nobody here. And as we approach the final approach course, that's when we'll make our first call. We don't have anybody on the TCAS at the moment, so it looks like we're here by ourselves. We haven't heard any other calls from anybody yet, so we are monitoring that. Alright, we're approaching FINAP, which is our last bracketed restriction, which is between 6,000 and 5,000. No additional speed restriction on that one, and then we've got Jaggle at or above 4,000. That is the bottom of our star, and at Jaggle we should have intercepted the 2.6 localizer. There is the airport right there. I'm going to go ahead and arm the ILS, so that way as the Loke comes in, we'll capture that. Alright, we're going to go flap 11.
Phoenix traffic, American 1949, 14 miles, touchdown 08, ILS passing 5,000.
Flaps 15.
Phoenix traffic, American 618 type MD82 is 10 mile final runway 26. Phoenix traffic.
Speed brake. Speed brake. Speed brake. Speed brake. Speed brake.
Alright, we're going to go flaps 28, gear down. And I'm just going to take the autopilot out.
Gear Flaps down, 28. 3 green.
It's keeping us a little too high. We're not going to ever intercept it otherwise, so just got to do it ourselves. So the gear's down. We're going to go landing lights full on. We're going to arm the auto brake, and we're going to go flaps 40.
Flaps 40.
Okay. We are now fully configured for landing. And we're going to set this to 129. That's over there. That's what I want. Well, whatever. Starting to come back on the glide slope here. And we're back on glide.
1,000.
And there's 1,000, so we're stable. We can continue.
Traffic.
Just went next to us. Okay, I think he was taking off.
Climb.
I think he was taking off on the other side.
$500. Approaching minimums.
Landing.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
2 in reverse.
Alright.
Phoenix traffic, American 1949, 3 mile final, 26.
We got traffic behind us, so we're going to try to get off quickly.
Sorry, runway 08, I should say, American 1949.
Lights out.
Oh, 08.
60 knots.
Alright, we're going to pull up right here. I got the traffic ahead, so we see him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Phoenix. The local time is 1:48.
Phoenix traffic,
PM,
American
and it's
618
currently
is
about
turning
88
off and clear of
degrees
runway
Fahrenheit.
26, runway
You can now
8.
use your mobile
Phoenix
devices.
traffic.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is
Alright,
turned
landing
off.
lights
Remember
going
to use
off.
caution when opening the overhead bins, as items
The
may
APU
have
is already
shifted
running,
in
so we don't have to worry
flight.
about
This is your
that.
final destination.
We are going
Thank
to
you
turn
for
on the other
flying
pack
with us.
now that we're
If
on the
you're making a
ground. We don't have to worry
connection,
about
we encourage you to
losing
check your
anything, so just to make
itinerary
sure
to ensure
we keep the air
continuation of
conditioning
the
going.
journey.
So keep that on there. And we're looking for Charlie 9 to take us to Alpha 6. So Alpha 6 is our gate. No. American, thank you. Alright, we're going to turn the auto brake to off. We're going to bring the flaps up. Make sure the spoilers are reset. They are. Flight directors can go off. Get rid of this, and we turn the weather radar off. Not sure why that's.
Phoenix traffic, American 1949, landed 08. As we are blind pilot and our software doesn't allow us to taxi the aircraft from here, we're disconnecting. Thanks for all the help.
Oh, there he is, and he just disconnected. That's funny. And check our brake temperatures. A little toasty, but nothing above normal here. We'll go ahead and bring the aux and trans pumps off. Since if we lose hydraulics, it's not the end of the world now. And that's all up and off. That's good to go. Perfect. All right, there is our gate here. This is Charlie 9. We're going to turn in right here. In the alley, we're going to turn the nose light off so we don't blind any ground crew personnel. It's never a good idea. Slow down here a little bit. And there we are. This guy's long, so I gotta go past the line here a bit. And then bring it around. Coming. There we go. All right. Perfect. Let's go ahead and set the parking brake. APU is already running and the bus is on there, so we're just going to go ahead and cut the engines. There we go. Engines are cut. I'm going to reset that guy. Shush your face. And we'll go ahead and turn off the beacon light. Good call for deboarding. And that's going to bring the jetway in. Turn the seatbelt signs off there. I'm going to turn all the fuel pumps off except for one for the APU. The pitot heats can go off. And window heats will leave on for the next crew, because I'm sure this airplane's going somewhere. And they've just hooked up our ground power, so that's awesome. We're going to leave the APU running. We're going to leave the APU power and stuff running because of the aircon needed today, because it's quite warm here in Phoenix. Main exit's opening there. Good. All right, PHX is getting a deboard signal as well. All right, that that should be off too. Always forget that. All right, let's turn off the transponder. Those can stay up. That is in off. And we'll go ahead and move the this guy back to the gate.
Thank you for a wonderful flight. Bye, thank you for a wonderful flight.
All right, and that is it. We have landed successfully in Phoenix, made our full round trip there, episode 2 of A Pilot's Life. And I want to thank you for coming along. Don't forget, I do stream on Twitch right now on Wednesday evenings, Friday evenings, and Saturday mornings. Sometimes a few exceptions due to work, and the best way to find out what that schedule truly is to check the weekly schedule on the Discord. A link for the Discord is down below. If you did like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe button, ring the notification bell to know when I'm posting a new ones of these. I guess I'm trying to be more consistent with these videos, so I want to at least try and get one of these out once a week. Sometimes it may even be more than that. We'll just see. It depends on my ability to fly and do this. So, but definitely come check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mustafa. Flying Moose here on YouTube, Mustafa on Twitch, same person. Would love to see you there and hang out with you and get to do that with you there. So, that is it for this episode of A Pilot's Life. There they go. They are finishing getting the... they are fast getting the bags off there. Dang. But people are deboarding as we speak. They got to run into each other. Watch a collision. Oh, oh, wow. Look at that. That was impressive. Synchronized belt loaders. That's impressive. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time. Again, hope to see you over on Twitch. And comment down below if you have any questions or comments about the video, things you'd like to see in the video, changes to the format, whatever. Let me know so we can integrate those in. We'll see you later. Have a wonderful day.